Once upon a time, there lived a king who died without a son. He had no heir. Because of this, as was tradition in the Akuku kingdom, his brother took over the throne. His brother was the most wicked king that ever lived. He made his people suffer so much. He made them pay high taxes. Knowing that his reign would not last forever and that he had made many enemies, he asked the Ezemo to look into his future and see if his enemies would kill him. The Ezemo told him that it is a girl that will kill you. Me? A girl? The king laughed. That's impossible. This must be a joke. Me, a powerful king, a small girl cannot kill me. Yes, your highness, the Ezemo said. The gods have revealed that this girl will be born and she will take over your reign. She will become queen. The king was so angry. Who is this girl and where is she from? The Ezemo further revealed that the girl came from the Njoku family. Immediately, the king ordered the killing of all girls from the Njoku family, both old and young. That night, the entire family had to run away. Their homes were set ablaze. Some escaped, others were killed. During this time, Afam's wife was pregnant. She was not from the Akuku kingdom, and so they were escaping to her own kingdom. But unfortunately, the royal guards who were attacking members of the Njoku family got the news of their escape, so they ran after them. Afam made his wife wear his clothes and he wore hers. He pretended to be pregnant. He asked his wife to run into the bushes in a different direction while he waited for the guards. And immediately he sighted them, he began to run in the opposite direction, distracting them from running after his wife. They ran after him, and when they caught up with him, they realized that he was a man and not the woman. And so they killed him. All the women in the Njoku family were wiped out that night, both old and young. Afam's wife, Chinelo, got to her own kingdom safely that night, and there she settled and gave birth to her daughter. She named her Amara. Chinelo knew early on that Amara was gifted. She could speak to spirits and heal the sick. She could deliver messages from the dead to the living. She was wise beyond her years, and everyone loved her. One day, Afam's kingsmen visited Chinelo. They said that they had been searching for years for her. They knew she was pregnant at that time and wanted to know the fate of the child. The Akuku kingdom was under great despair. They needed the prophesied queen to come and free them from the evil king. Chinelo did not want to go with them, but Amara did. She had heard how evil the king from Akuku kingdom was, and she wanted to help the villagers. But she told her kingsmen that they should go ahead and she would come. She told them to expect to hear from her when she arrives. After they left, a few days later, Amara packed up her bags and went to the kingdom and went to the Akuku kingdom. The moment she set foot on the Akuku land, the Ezemo felt her enormous powers. During this time, the prince had been sick. No one knew what was wrong with him or how to cure him. Many herbalists had failed and the king had killed them all. Amara went to the palace saying that she was a healer and wanted to try. Are you sure? One of the servants asked. If you fail, the king will kill you and you look like a small girl. Amara laughed and said, let me see the prince first. Immediately she was brought before the king and the prince. She laid her hands on the prince and immediately he woke up as if nothing was ever wrong with him. He jumped up and his father was amazed. The news spread in the entire kingdom that there was a miracle worker in the kingdom. The king was so happy. He instructed his servants to treat Amara with a lot of respect. In no time, the king began to look at her with greed. He said to himself, I have to marry her. That way, she will be by me and I can use her powers for my own. When the news got to the Ezemo about the miracle, when the news got to the Ezemo about the powerful healer in the royal palace, he became anxious. He went to the palace to confirm what he had heard. There he saw Amara, and immediately he saw her, he recognized her as the child that should have been killed years ago. He immediately took her to a quiet place and warned her to leave the kingdom or he would tell the king of her true identity. Amara laughed at him. I am aware of the evil atrocities you have been doing here, she said. You and the king have been sacrificing children for your own gain. You have been worshipping the evil god Ogun. I am here to expose you. Immediately, the Ezemo was angry and he walked away. The Ezemo ran and told the king that he should get rid of Amara. She was the girl that was supposed to have been killed years ago. But the king's greed overshadowed his senses. He said that if he married her, he would be able to control her. The Ezemo should not worry. The king asked Amara to marry him and she agreed. She accepted his proposal to be queen. Immediately, invitations were sent out inviting royal dignitaries from all over the kingdoms. The day before the event, Amara went into the forest and came back with some leaves. She instructed the palace cook to put it in the food that she and the king would eat. She claimed it will help them conceive as soon as possible. On that day, the cook did exactly as Amara instructed. He put the leaf in the food that she and the king would eat. Once served with the food, the king began to eat. He was happy. At first, he did not notice anything, but eventually, he noticed that his body became weak. Once Amara noticed that he had become weak and dizzy, she began to ask him questions. The king was surprised that all the questions she asked him, he answered it honestly, because he was unable to lie. The leaf that she had put in the food was a truth-telling leaf, one that does not allow anybody to lie. And so the king confessed all the atrocities he and the Ezemo had done before all his guests. Everyone screamed at the amount of children that had been killed by the king for his own gain. Once the power of the leaf wore off, the king realized what he had done. Before he could run away from the palace, all his subjects bounced on him and they killed him. The Ezemo tried to escape, but the people stopped him. He was sentenced to death. Amara became the queen of the Akuku kingdom. Thank you so much for listening to another episode. If you liked it, please subscribe, like, comment, share. Thank you to those who have subscribed. Thank you to those who have supported. Until next time, goodbye.
Amalo nye dimba no nye dinjo.